Romance. One of the hardest things to pull off well in fiction. But when done well, fandoms argue over ships, write fanfics, and even draw some hint. And I, as a writer, wanted in badly to make my own fandoms gush over my characters. But there was a problem. I kinda didn't really vibe with the genre all too well. I've watched the high school rom-coms, and I was stone-faced watching them. I didn't even feel the slightest bit of emotion, bro. All I saw was pixels. This was the case until I watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners and more recently Dawn to Dawn, and it made me feel like the goated caveman who discovered fire for the first time. But why Dawn to Dawn and Cyberpunk Edgerunners? I mean, one is a bawl your eyes out tragedy which sand devastates you, and the other is a crazy fever dream with ghost hunting grannies and testicles. And why exactly did these two stories hit way harder than actual rom-coms? And the further I fell down the rabbit hole of understanding why, the more things started shifting into focus. And it even shifted my very view on genres and tropes as a whole. I realized that authors like Horikoshi and Kishimoto don't actually write bad romance. They just write them in the wrong places. So what is romantic chemistry really? And before my research, I used to think that it was satisfying interactions between personalities which complemented each other. Think of it like duct tape or character flaws. But like duct tape, it's clean on paper, but very ugly on practice. It just has too many contradictions to be called a proper argument. Take Sasuke and Sakura for example. They are arguably one of the most hated couples in fiction, but they should have worked on paper. I mean, Sakura is caring and loving, at least to Sasuke, and Sasuke is cold and bitter. But a relationship which should have worked on paper completely fell flat of its potential. While the main reason for this couple failing is different, and I will talk about it next, Sakura not really changing Sasuke in any meaningful way is still a pretty big problem. So I think a good romance is character growth. They should rub off on each other, scar each other, evolve together. And we don't see that happening much in shonen romances. It's not like Sasuke gets less dense or Sakura stops being a bitch through character growth. I even have the same critique for Naruto and Hinata, which I'll get to in a sec. But for now, let's talk about Cha and Jinwoo from Solo Leveling. This is one of the biggest examples of zero chemistry. Bro, neither has any character arc to begin with, let alone mutual character arcs. Though it's fun to read the epilogue chapters where these two just vibe, they give more high school sweetheart vibes than anything. So I think mutual character growth is the key to good romantic chemistry. Both halves should be cracked from the start and make each other whole in a way. Dawn to Dawn does this perfectly. We see Okarun on episode 1, alone on his desk. He is a complete shut-in, has no friends, doesn't believe he will amount to anything. But as he gets closer to Momo, he gains more self-confidence. He slowly but surely sheds his pessimism. I mean, bro is finally happy that he has a friend, even going as far as to try to get stronger to protect her. Because before meeting her, he never thought he would get a friend. This led to him developing a huge inferiority complex. He chased aliens because to him, humans felt even more alien. At least UFOs didn't judge him.
They're not UFOs, they're UAPs! Unidentified aerial phenomena!
My bad, UAPs. But a good healthy romance should always be mutual, unless you want an unhealthy relationship. And while not visible on the surface, Okarun helps Momo with her insecurities too, because deep down, Momo's nerdy too, and she relates with him. She is into the paranormal and her grandma literally hunts them, but she got bullied as a kid for standing out. But instead of rejecting society like Okarun did, she did something which is arguably even worse. She rejected herself, killed off what made her strange, what made her happy, became blander, less unique, less expressive, all in an effort to fit in. But Okarun accepts the real her. In fact, he likes the real her. He likes that he finally found someone to nerd out with. And this slowly brings her out her shell. She expresses her emotions more strongly and gets more open with him. But drop that dynamic into Night City, that's a different story. Growth isn't really subtle there, it's violent. Lucy is not just a pessimist. She flatlines hope, zero dreams, zero trust, just chrome and inertia. I mean, all she had was Kiwi to talk to. And she was depressed too, bro. I don't know about you, but two depressed people swapping cynical remarks around doesn't really sound like therapy to me. It sounds more like a countdown, if you get what I mean. Lucy is literally alone in a room full of people. Until David, it was only him who got her to open up, to believe in a future. Every smile, every spark, David. Every breakdown, every panic, still David. He's not just in her life, he gives her life. And he slowly melts the cold hard shell and reveals her soft, sensitive side. But this kind of mutual character growth should happen even when the couples are separated. It is always so good to see scenes where partners talk or think of each other. Now, I have never been in love or anything. I make videos about fictional couples, dog. I think you can take that for granted. But have you noticed those really lovey-dovey couples in real life, bro? They glaze each other even when they're not together. They even talk and think like each other at times. This trope goes really hard and makes the audience go crazy, my guy. And it's why Momo and Okarun go so hard. They practically crave hanging out with each other, and they even think about each other when alone. Every scene where they wonder if the other is mad at them is so masterfully done. Because deep down, both of them are insecure about how they are perceived. They spiral over meaningless stuff, a missed goodbye, a joke or roast. Not because they're dramatic, but because they're just dumb fucking teenagers. And that's exactly what makes it so immersive. But in the case of Lucy and David, their longing is even stronger, even more painful. Because Lucy only breathes easy around him, and David is unraveling, trying to bring her back, falling apart every time. By the third try, he's not even reaching out anymore. He's giving up. But Lucy, she can't give up. Because in Night City, love isn't a feeling, it's literally the life support. But I do need to warn you of a pitfall with this trope. If one character constantly thinks about and talks about a love interest, you know what that's called, man? That's a toxic relationship, not true love. And it is really bad when this kind of relationship is portrayed as healthy in shonen. You know what I'm talking about, man. The various Hinatas, Orihimes and Urarakas of shonen. Hinata simps hard. Her entire arc is around Naruto. While Naruto barely acknowledges her existence, she doesn't change him. Bro doesn't even catch feelings for her until they drop the damn movie. And I'ma be honest with you, bro, she doesn't even have a good enough reason to simp that hard. Don't hit me with that scarf bullshit, bro. That was an ass pull by Kishimoto and it isn't even realistic. If rescue equals romance, every firefighter is a sex god. If this was written today, Hinata wouldn't get Naruto. She would outgrow him. Yeah, 13-year-old me did ship them pretty hard. But it's time we grew up, man. No offense to 13-year-olds. It's time we stop mistaking satisfying payoffs for real romantic chemistry. You see this done in most shonen actually. These kinda one-sided obsessions actually paying off in the end. But in real life, this would be toxic for both sides. If you want toxic, at least do it right. Go full Chainsaw Man. Go full Fujimoto. And he really does know his psychology. Every romantic endeavor Denji has had so far is always manipulative. I low-key feel bad for Denji, especially in the manga, man. But Denji's whole character arc is about him getting over his obsession over Makima. But if this was old school shonen, Makima would have married him in the final episode and turned over a new leaf. She would have had 3 kids with him, tucked him into bed and gave him goodnight kisses. But without delving into spoilers, let's just say Denji got a little hungry. But there is another important puzzle piece to romantic chemistry. Believable romantic escalation. And I don't mean the feet or thigh shit we get in high school rom-coms or getting married to 5 women in 8 episodes like an isekai. By romantic escalation, I mean mostly emotional, not physical. In the writing community, this is called slow burn romance. It's when characters start completely closed off and slowly start opening up to each other. Some good slow burn romances in fiction are Hermione and Ron, Caitlin and Vi, and Powder and Echo. But so far, I have not watched a single anime with better slow burn than Dantedan. Through battle trauma and lunch chatting, they open up with each other more and more. Their trust evolves. Their vulnerability evolves, even their intimacy to a subtler extent. And as a guy who binged the manga as soon as the anime ended, I can promise actual hugs and hand-holding before actual marriage in a real shonen. But great romantic chemistry doesn't have to be slow burn. In fact, slow burns are notoriously messed up by writers, making for the shittiest pacing humanly possible, like all the high school setting rom-coms coming out every year. But slow burns go wrong way too often to be ignored. Why? Because see, some writers forget the last half of the word. Slow burn. It ain't no slow burn if there is no burn, bro. I'm looking at you, rent-a-pacing. The romantic escalation doesn't even need to be physical, bro. Just have any. In fact, I would go as far as to say just physical escalation is actually pretty bad. Like with any harem isekai anime, the MC is always chin deep in tits. But I have not watched a single isekai with good romance yet. Because romantic escalation is about growing vulnerability. If touching skin was all it took, High School DxD would be a fucking masterpiece. Write romantic escalation like you write character arcs. Because at its core, that's what it is. It is two character arcs crashing into each other and mutating into something new. And while intimacy can spice things up, if it doesn't serve the plot or feed any character arc, cut it. Just don't go full Hollywood with it, man. And for sticking this long in the video, here's your bonus tip. Why not try reversing the romantic escalation? I'm talking about a sort of romantic de-escalation. Not breakup drama, I mean the erosion of trust. Two people slipping apart, slowly, tragically. Watching Lucy constantly lie to David isn't just sad, it's devastating.
Bruh.
She ghosts him and he hardens in response. She dwells in her pain and he numbs it with chrome. Both the voice actors and the director of the anime showcase that mutual despair so well. The ending only hurts so much because the romantic de-escalation is so well done. As Lucy hides things from David more and more, he goes on a negative character arc. I mean, at the start of the series, David even hesitates to pick up a gun, let alone fire it. But as he gets more chromed up and Lucy eventually leaves the crew, you start to see the difference. His eyes are dull and he is stone cold when he kills, but he was still pulling through until he crosses a line even he couldn't bear. First innocent kill, eyes dead. And where does he go? The only place that still feels real, Lucy.
Maybe we should, go our separate ways.
Oh, wait! That's not what I want! I'm sorry, David, but I gotta go.
That was the break. That's when the cyberware cracked his head straight open. And Lucy was suffering too, knowing that he's in pain but unable to help him. And low-key, she was losing her only happiness. And to add to your devastation, dog, look at this.
He's Arasaka!
Let's call it off.
Lucy was going cyber psycho too. I played the game. Losing limb function is a clear symptom, bro. She probably doesn't live long on the moon either, since loneliness aggravates it. Moving on from that hopeful fact which I just revealed. After understanding what made these romances so good, I came to an understanding. Bro, these shonens actually do every single thing I've talked about so far. But instead of doing it for the romance, they do it for the rivals. Let's look at Naruto and Sasuke for example. Mutual character growth? Yup. Separation longing? Yeah. Remember that Naruto had a whole ass panic attack for his homie. And even emotional escalation to an extent. While platonic, their closeness does grow as the plot progresses. That's why the relationship feels way more compelling than Naruto and Hinata or Sasuke and Sakura. Let's be real, if one of them was a girl, this would be peak romance. And no one would have batted an eye. I feel like rivals to lovers is a criminally underused trope, especially in shonen. In fact, I actually haven't seen this trope at all in fiction. Maybe give me some recommendations down below. With that being said, I don't want my story or yours to get the MHA treatment. So here's how you can tell a romance and a bromance clearly apart. And that's love language. Broadly, it is the idea of the couple having their own inner world. They should understand each other better than the rest of the cast do. It's when two people build a language only they speak. Inside jokes, glances, subtext, nicknames. And on a deeper level, the couple being able to sense things about each other which the other cast can't. Dandadan nails this. The nickname Okarun is just the start. Inside jokes, callbacks, shared madness. they speak their bond. And on a deeper level, they get each other better than the rest of the world does. But it's important to note that this kind of laid back banter and inside jokes doesn't work for every situation. Like with Lucy and David, cutesy nicknames would feel pretty off, but that deeper love language is still there. In fact, David is the only guy who gets Lucy, and she understands David's psyche deeper than the rest of the crew.
Your hand.
It's nothing. It'll be fine in a sec.
Haven't changed, have you? Still chasing someone else's dream.
But you know what the funny thing is? Bakugo and Deku check every single box so far. Nicknames? Check. Mutual character growth? Hell yes. Emotional escalation? Yup. That's why the dynamic hits way harder than Deku and Ochako ever did. I don't actually shape Bakugo and Deku, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. This leads me to what most writers miss when writing romance. Respecting the setting. Lucy and David's relationship might not be the healthiest relationship in our world. Sure, Lucy chain smokes and downs alcohol like it's water. But for Night City...
You two went on a date to the moon? Shit, dog. It don't get much more romantic than that in Night City.
I've played every single romance path in Cyberpunk 2077, but none of them hit harder than Lucy and David. They're not just in love, they are ride or die. Quite literally actually. And no disrespect to Panam or Judy, but they bolted as soon as their debts were paid. So I think your romance should reflect the comfort of your characters. Because the comfort of your overall setting definitely affects the mindset of your characters. That's why every relationship in Chainsaw Man is beyond fucked up. It reflects Fujimoto's worldview and largely how fucked up public safety is. The higher your kill count, the darker your heart is. And it reflects in the way you love too. I'd love to make a video on that subject one day, but I digress. This is exactly what anime rom-coms fuck up. They don't respect their own setting. The cast doesn't act like real high schoolers. High schoolers gossip, tease and bully each other. And they are not exactly articulate with the way they express love either. Because they are still immature. And it seems no high school rom-com truly shows that. And so far, I've only seen the true potential of a high school setting truly explode in Dandadan. There is gossips, random as rumors spreading through the class, and not overly tropey high school kids. While in a setting like Chainsaw Man or Cyberpunk Edge Runners, where the characters live danger-filled lives, the characters can't really be worrying about nonsensical shit. There is a sense of urgency with the way they love, because deep down, they have no idea if the other will survive the very next day. So, the more brutal your setting is, the faster, more messier your relationships need to be. And here it is, the thing I've been edging towards since the start. Romance doesn't need to be the destination. It just needs to power the journey. See, like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't really vibe with romance as a genre. It's not that I hate romance, I just think people are bigger than that. More than just hormones and blushing. They have goals, hobbies, interests and trauma. And a lot of writers lose what makes a really good character in pursuit of a good romance. I want romance built into the story, not instead of it. Tucked into character arcs and larger narratives and real stakes. I wish shows like AOT, Naruto or JJK had better romance, because I think there is a lot of unexplored area in romance to fuel character growth and to enrich the overall narrative. In my opinion, a fully romance-focused story is not deep like Vagabond or FMAP. Don't get me wrong, I can still enjoy a show like Blue Box or My Dress Up Darling from time to time. But it's no Arcane or Death Note. Personally, I don't think of romance as the crop. I think of it as a manure. Done right, it feeds the narrative and grows it. And it's not like it's never been done before either. Just look at every couple in Arcane. All of them go through mutual character growth. Or even the couples in Avatar: The Last Airbender. In both these shows, I think we can all agree that romance isn't really the main focus. But it really does enrich the plot. And low-key, I wanna write a complex plot like that, and I think good romance can go a pretty long way in making that happen. Now, a moment of full transparency. I'm no Fujimoto or Tolkien, at least not yet. And this video is just the surface level. Such a difficult and broad topic needs more research from me and multiple videos to talk about it. And so, that's where you come in. I want recommendations of fiction which I can use to study romance. Give me recommendations of the good, bad and the ugly in fiction. Bonus points if it's just a subplot. Drop your recommendations in the comments. I read and reply to all of them. With that, it's me, Strike, peacing out.